नमस्कार सबैजनालाई। हामी को छौं? Pratana, your video, I don't see your video.
नमस्कार सबैलाई, म यास्मिन बेगम साउदी अरबबाट।
नमस्कार दिदी।
नमस्ते मैया।
नमस्कार, म श्रीधर आचार्य।
नमस्ते सबैलाई, नमस्ते है सबैलाई, बेस्ट विशेष हाम्रो नानु बाबुहरूलाई।
सबैजना आइपुग्नु भएको छैन जस्तो छ।
नेपाल पोखरादेखि बोल्दैछु।
Oh, good. दिदी हजुर म्युट हुनुहुन्छ। Tapasya, can you please turn the video on? Same Nishant.
छ भने चाहिँ त्यसको लागि यहाँ थोरै उहरू छ, ब्याकग्राउन्ड सेट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ कसैहरुले? जस्तो मेरोमा चाहिँ सेकेन्ड ग्लोबल नेपाली हेल्थ कन्फरेन्स भन्ने ब्याकग्राउन्ड छ नि।
हजुर हजुर।
यसमा चाहिँ तपाईहरुले चाहिँ यो फ्लायर डाउनलोड गरेर राख्नु भएको छ। राख्नु भएको छ भने तपाई फ्लायर डाउनलोड गर्नु भएको छ जुन मेलबाट पठाउनु भएको थियो नि।
सरी हजुर के भन्नुभयो?
यो ब्याकग्राउन्डमा जुन उ देखिया छ नि,
हजुर
मेरो उसमा चाहिँ जुन भर्चुअल ब्याकग्राउन्ड देखिया छ नि, यो हाम्रो कन्फरेन्सको चाहिँ भर्चुअल ब्याकग्राउन्ड हो। यसमा चाहिँ तपाईहरुले सेट गर्नु भएको रहन्छ, गर्नुहुन्छ भने चाहिँ यो फ्लायर डाउनलोड गर्नुस्, म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ सपोर्ट गर्छु त्यसको लागि।
हैन भन्नाले यो हामी मुभ हुँदाखेरि कस्तो त्यो देखिन्छ के, त्यही भएर डाउनलोड नगरेको।
हुन्छ त्यो समस्या होइन, फेरि कुनै टाइममा चाहिँ त्यस्तो खालको समस्या पनि आउँछ। यसमा चाहिँ लाइटनिङ अरू कुराहरू चाहिँ मिलेन भने यो चाहिँ ठ्याक्क बस्दाखेरि अलिकति त्यो अर्कै तरिकाको देखिन्छ। त्यो भएको हुनाले चाहिँ त्यही पनि अब उ गर्ने हो र तपाईलाई आइडिया नभएको हो भने चाहिँ त्यसको लागि सपोर्ट गर्छु म भनेर।
ए हजुर हैन हाम्रो त ठिकै छ। बरु डु यु गाइज वान्ट टु डु दैट पार्टिसिपेन्ट्स?
अरु कसैले चाहिँ त्यस्तो खालको भर्चुअल ब्याकग्राउन्ड राख्नु मन छ कि?
हजुर मैले डाउनलोड गरेको छैन, त्यही भएर
त्यसलाई चाहिँ डाउनलोड गर्नुस्। त्यो जुन मेलबाट आएको छ त्यस पछाडि यता यो भिडियो स्टप भिडियोको माथिपट्टि थोरै एरो आउँछ, त्यहाँनिर हेर्नु होला। त्यहाँ गएर क्लिक गरेपछि चुज भर्चुअल ब्याकग्राउन्ड गरेपछि चाहिँ अनि तपाईको चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट डेस्कटपबाट यसरी चाहिँ यसमा क्लिक गर्यो भने चाहिँ यहाँ आउँछ, ब्याकग्राउन्डमा आएर बस्छ।
थ्यांक यू।
मलाई 2 मिनेट दिनु है, म चिया बनाउँदैछु के।
अनि हामी बाँकी यति नै हो। अरु
आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ अरु पार्टिसिपेन्ट्सहरु पनि?
पार्टिसिपेन्ट अनि यता हाम्रो साइन्टिफिक कमिटीबाट चाहिँ सरहरु भोलि हाम्रो प्रेजेन्टेसन चाहिँ लगभग यो कन्फरेन्समा हाम्रो कसको प्रेजेन्टेसन छ साथीहरुको? हात ठडाउनु प्रेजेन्टेसन भयो भने
डिस्कसन हुन्छ। टिनेजर्सहरुको एक्सपीरियन्स के कस्तो रह्यो ड्युरिङ पेन्डेमिक, त्यो कुरा माथि चाहिँ डिस्कसन हुन्छ। उहाँहरुले चाहिँ अब के कुराहरु भोग्नु भयो हैन, अनि कस्तो रह्यो त अनुभव भन्ने कुराहरु बताउनुहुन्छ।
ओके ल म पनि म्युट भन्छु
हस्। गुड मर्निङ है सबैजनालाई।
हामी हाम्रो भिडियो अन राख्नुपर्छ। तपस्या, अश्विन, आशिष, कुञ्जल,
Yeah guys, please turn your video on.
प्रार्थना, या ओके कुञ्जल, तपस्या,
कुञ्जलको त्यो ब्याकग्राउन्ड उस भएछ, अपोजिट भएछ।
मेरो या ओके है।
कुञ्जलको
मेरो कस्तो छ मैया?
ठिक छ दिदी।
ए या ओके।
Sorry, Mom. I need to get water.
Yeah, go ahead.
मेरो उल्टो
I
भएको
also
छ।
need to get my computer mouse. For some reason, it's not here with my computer, so.
कहाँ कति बज्यो अहिले? सबै ठाउँमा बिहान छ कि कतै बेलुका भइसक्यो कि दिउँसो छ कि के छ?
Yeah, man. Sorry.
Yeah, अभिलाषाबाट सुरु गरौँ न। Is it morning or afternoon or night?
It's almost the evening. It's 5 p.m. in Myanmar.
Oh, नेपालमा जस्तै हो त पनि टाइम?
45 minutes हामी ahead छौं.
Okay. अरु अश्विनीको त morning छ, जास्मिन नेपालमा छ, कुञ्जलको कति बज्यो त्यहाँ?
थाहा छैन के भएको। यहाँ 1 बज्न लाग्यो।
You mean रातिको कि दिउँसोको? Okay. अनि निशान्त?
It's 2 p.m.
Okay. Bahrain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tapasya, you? कति बज्यो त्यहाँ?
1:43 p.m.
Okay. भनेपछि खासै सबैलाई कसैलाई पनि गाह्रो भएन जस्तो छ। टाइम एकदम पर्फेक्ट छ जस्तो छ।
गाह्रो हजुरलाई मात्रै हो बुइला बहिनी।
म अल्छी भएर दिते पनि।
अल्छी होइन त हजुरको टाइम हो मात्रै।
हजुर। त्यही त ल ठिक छ। अब हामी कोलाई कुरिरहेछौँ दिदी? हामीसँग के रे प्रशान्त अनि त्यसपछि नमस्कार सम्पूर्णमा। म बिमला सापकोटा, रिजनल कोअर्डिनेटर अमेरिकाज रिजन। आज मिति 2020 सेप्टेम्बर 18 को दिन हाम्रो ग्लोबल नेपाली हेल्थ कमिटी अन्तर्गतको एउटा कार्यक्रम टिनेजर्स एक्सपिरियन्स अन पेन्डेमिकमा सम्पूर्णलाई हृदयदेखि नै स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। 6 महिनाभन्दा बढी हामी एउटा यो कोरोनाले संसारलाई राज गरिरहेको अवस्थामा कोरोना कहरमा बाँचिरहेका छौँ। सबै हामी आफ्नो घरभित्र बस्न बाध्य छौँ र यसै सन्दर्भमा हामीले पहिला एउटा चिल्ड्रन्स प्रोग्राम गरेका थियौँ। साना भाइ बहिनीहरूको एक्सपिरियन्स सुन्ने एउटा जमर्को गरेका थियौँ र अहिले आएर हामीले टिनेजर्स भाइ बहिनीहरूको पनि एउटा एक्सपिरियन्स सेयर गरौँ, के कस्तो छ उहाँहरूको कुरा सुनौँ भन्ने प्रयासले यो कार्यक्रम सुरु गरेका छौँ। यस कार्यक्रमलाई सफल र सार्थक तुल्याउनको लागि मलाई हरपल सल्लाह सुझाव दिने, हरपल मलाई उत्प्रेरणा दिने डाक्टर सञ्जीव सापकोटा एनआरएनए ग्लोबल हेल्थ टिमका चेयरपर्सन उहाँलाई म यहाँ स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। अनि यस्तै गरेर मलाई यस कार्यक्रममा मात्रै नभएर पहिला पनि अर्को चिल्ड्रन्स प्रोग्राममा पनि सहयोग गर्नुभएको, अरू बेलामा पनि मलाई हरदम नानु यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ, यसरी जानुपर्छ भनेर सल्लाह सुझाव दिने दिदी यास्मिन बेगम, उहाँ आइसिसी मेम्बर हुनुहुन्छ साउदी अरेबियाबाट, उहाँलाई पनि यस कार्यक्रममा स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। अनि यस्तै गर्दा अब हाम्रा साना भाइ बहिनीहरू, टिनेजर्स भाइ बहिनीहरू सम्पूर्णलाई म स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। अनि अब मैले मेरो फ्लोर चाहिँ प्रशान्त र अश्विनीलाई ह्यान्ड ओभर गर्दैछु, so that you guys will be running the program now. Prashant and Ashwini, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Bimala Sapkota, coordinator of this program, for providing us this opportunity to moderate this program, Teenager Experience on Coronavirus Pandemic, organized by Global Health Committee, NRNA. Hello, everyone. It's me Prashant Gaudel from Nepal. I am in 10th grade right now.
Hello, I'm Ashwini Sigdel. I'm from the USA and I am currently in 9th grade. Before moving forward, I would like to request Dr. Sandeep Satputta, Chairperson, Global Health Committee, NRNA, to put some light on the program and its objectives.
Thank you very much, Prashant and Ashwini, and thank you very much, Bimla, Maini, and Yasmiji for this great opportunity for everyone. Hello, teenagers, hello, young people from around the world. We're all excited. I know that you're in different time zones, right? We have 24-hour time zones. So here in the United States, we are like, some are in the middle of the night and some are just waking up. But I mean, in Europe, it's just getting morning. In Africa, morning, right? And Asia probably in a noon, and it's probably the sun is setting probably in Oceania and Australia. So it's a global community, right? We're all together, and the reason, I mean, we wanted to include this very important program here is because you are the future. You are the pillars of any element of the society, whether it's a family or community or a country or the planet. And young people like yourself, teenagers, you're the adults of future, right? So the development and the future of the world is in your hand. So if we do not include you and if we do not engage you, then we're at a loss. So I mean, from the very beginning, you've been participating in many activities. Like a couple of months ago, or probably weeks ago, you were in a speech contest, and you're in your own activities in a country or other areas. But here in NRNA, Non-Resident Nepali Association, which I serve as a health committee chair, we believe that health actually is in the hands of everybody. Like, it's not only the doctors and the nurses, but actually, it starts with you, meaning that the pandemic probably told you that, prevention is very important, and avoid getting prevented. And, like once you're prevented, that you lessen the burden in the healthcare doctors and hospitals like that. So the reason for this great program is that we wanted to have an interaction with you from all around the world. So feel very informal, engage yourself in the program, interact. You can speak in any language you want. Nepali ma jalai fluent cha, please speak in Nepali, because there are a lot of people out listening to us. They want to hear us speak Nepali. I know you're all fluent, and most of you are fluent in English. Some may not be. I mean, that's very okay, because any language is okay. I mean, नेपालीमा बोल्नलाई पनि म उत्तिकै इन्करेज गर्छु र म पेसाले आम अ मेडिकल डक्टर, बट म पब्लिक हेल्थमा काम गर्छु र म यो हेल्थ कमिटीको चाहिँ चेयरपर्सन भएको 4 वर्ष भयो र सुरुदेखि नै यङ पिपलहरूलाई हामीले चाहिँ इन्भल्भ गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो मान्यता रहेको छ। भर्खरै बिमला बहिनीले पनि भनिहाल्नु कि just like 2 months ago we had a webinar among like those people who are 8 years to 12 years, like those who are going to elementary school, right? Because the health actually of a family depends on them. अहिले स्कुलहरु बन्द भइरहेको छ, किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट चिल्ड्रेनहरुले इन्फेक्सन लिएर आउला अथवा उनीहरुबाट सर्ला भनेर, किन that is very important, right? So engaging गर्नको लागि, so we heard from them. I mean, and that was unbelievable. I mean, we thought that they might know a little, but they know a lot. I mean, sometimes some of them know more than us. So like that is so. Then so we interacted with each other and we learn from each other. So have a great program and interact, and then it will be in the background just listening to you. It's your program. Run the show. Flow. Share whatever you want to share about pandemic, other things, your country, because we want to hear from your world. China, Nigeria, United States, Canada, Australia, Myanmar, Nepal, wherever you are, share what happened and share your family. Like, let us know. That's what we are interested in. Okay, we all know about how the virus transmits from one another. We all know how to prevent, but we don't know what you did during the pandemic. That's what we want to hear. We don't know what you did during the lockdown. That's what very important for everyone. So best of luck. I'm gonna stop here and then let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sapkota.
Now, let me briefly say what is NRNA. It is a civic social organization which was established with the prime objective and motive of uniting and binding the Nepali diaspora under one umbrella. This organization was so formed on 11th October 2003. Now, without any delay, I want to move toward the introduction session of the participants. We have Abhilasha Khatiwada, who is 16 years from Myanmar, Vikram Keshi, who is 18 years from Russia, Jasmine Begum Sayad, who is 19 years from Saudi Arabia, Zia Hamal, who is 14 years from Qatar, Nikhil Gongal, who is 14 years from South Africa. Hey Aswini, do you want to call some name of the participants?
Sure, we have Nishant Khatri, who's 16 years old and from Bahrain, sorry, Prasanna Thapa, who's 13 years old and from China, Rubina Boda, who's 13 years old and from the UAE, Suhim Thapa, who is 19 years old and 16 years old and from Nigeria, Samira Casey, who is 19 years old and from Russia, Tapasya Adigari, who is 13 years old and from Saudi Arabia. That's all. Before we get started on our formal discussion, there are some rules that we have to follow. Let me inform you about them. Everyone, please mute your mics except for when you have to speak. If you have to speak, please raise your hand on your screen and wait for your turn. And by raising your hand, I don't mean like this, but at the bottom there's a hotbar that allows you to send an emoji. Well, sorry, not at the bottom. Let me show. I can't find it right now, but we'll work with that later. Please don't overtake one another, and please avoid making racist comments and respect each other.
So now let's start our discussion on the topic COVID-19. So before we get started, I would like to make a brief overview on this topic, COVID-19. The COVID-19 is an infectious disease which is caused due to the severe acute respiratory syndrome called the coronavirus. This virus was originated from Wuhan, Hubei, China. The first case of the COVID-19 was detected on 17 September 2019, and this virus was detected on December 2019 so far.
Let's all share our experiences on COVID-19 and the lockdown. We'll go down in alphabetical order, starting off with Abhilasha.
Namaste, I'm Abhilasha Khatiwada. I'm 16, as you guys have already introduced me. For me, the pandemic was quite a roller coaster. The first couple of months, I would say they were quite relaxing, like a well-deserved break, a break from school, homework and everything, but weeks turned into months and the days became quite monotonous, and I started to get really bored and miss my friends and miss school, which I never thought I'd actually miss. And I think what made it even harder for me was the uncertainty. I didn't know when it was gonna end. I feel like if someone provided like an exact date to when it would end, it would have been easier for me to cope with what was happening. But the pandemic gave me so much free time to think about myself, pick up new hobbies such as playing the guitar. So I think when I do come out of this pandemic, I will come out as a completely whole new person. And I think I'll be approaching things in a much different way than I did before. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhilasha, for your experience. Next will be me, Ashwini. And when the pandemic started, I wasn't really scared, and I was like, oh, well, whatever. It's just gonna like go by in a bit. And then a month passes by and it's still like crazy. And then I realized, God, this is gonna last forever. So, and throughout the whole time, I have to find these ways to make sure I'm not like getting bored. And it's practically impossible trying to find a new thing to do because what I was doing yesterday is no longer interesting. And honestly, I just really miss my friends, and that's it. Anyways, next up is Bikram.
Yeah, for me, it all happened so quick. I didn't even have time to process what I was happening because I was supposed to go on spring break, then it turned to a 2-month break, and I've been stuck at home for around 6 months now. And it all was really fun at first. I mean, like a week of extra break was pretty fun, but then slowly relaxation at home turned into procrastination, and the more I was getting, the more pandemic was going on, the more procrastination, and I was feeling like I'm stuck in a loop between social media, binging TV shows, and stuff like that. So now I think that mental health is what's really important to take care of during the pandemic, and that's what I've been focusing on lately. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Bikram. Next, we have Jasmine.
All right, I absolutely hate this entire situation and I wish things go back normal because I've been dying to start my university. I'm just getting old sitting at home, and I came to Nepal for like a little small work, but then I happen to be stuck here way far away from my family. And since I never lived here, I don't have friends, don't know places, nothing at all. So it was really difficult, and it still is difficult seeing my friends already go to this second year of university, and I'm still stuck doing nothing at all. So yeah, I just hate it. I wish we just come up with better solution. But then again, I'm in Nepal right now. I'm stuck here, and the cases over here are rapidly increasing, and people don't really take precautions properly. So yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing your wonderful experience with us. Now, I would like to request Zia for sharing her experience.
So when the disease started, I was really nervous. Like, it wasn't a huge thing, but I was nervous because I really didn't know what was going to happen. But nobody took it really serious. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's just going to start and it's just going to end," because no one was really knowing about the pandemic is going to start. So we were not just taking it seriously. Everyone, and the break started. We were all happy. I was happy. Certainly, we were like, "Oh, it's good taking a break and all." But after 2 months, after 3 months, I was not familiar because it was a huge thing. It was a burden because there was nothing to do at all. There have been many people who's anxious about it because not going outside, the lockdown, a lot of pressure because you don't really know what to do. You have to be working on ourselves, and it's quite difficult. Also, I have been missing the schools and a lot of friends. I'm trying to get new hobbies and a lot of things. But the most important thing is the mental health because people won't really know when this is going to end. Hopefully, it ends fast. And yes, I'm really been missing a lot of people right now. I'm trying to make new friends too, as I don't really have much because we are not bonding together through socials and all. So it's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gia. Next, we have Kunjo.
So when I first heard of COVID-19, it was in November 2019. And I thought, it's in China, it's so far away, it would never reach here. And 4 months later, I'm at university preparing for a test, and it's midnight, and I was just here screaming and cheering, and everybody's celebrating. University is closed, and we are all so happy. And we thought it would be over in a few weeks and life would go back to normal. I was at home eating good food made by my mom, and I was watching Netflix and relaxing. But soon I realized I'd be stuck at home doing university work for months. And we had one of the harshest lockdowns here in South Africa. We had a curfew from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. and there was a ban on sales of alcohol and cigarettes. I spent most of my time, because gyms were closed, had a backyard, so I had a dog to run with, and I started watching fitness videos and following them. And obviously, as the cases started increasing, I got a bit more panicked, and people that I knew were infected, and it just became a bit too real. And eventually some restrictions got eased down, and at that stage grocery shopping was an excuse to go outside. Currently we're at level 1 and our university is starting to call back some students. So everything is starting to look better with the peak going down. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends, being outside and having a slightly more normal life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Gunjal, for sharing your experience with us. Now, I would like to request Nishant for sharing his experience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nishant Khatri from Kinama, Bahrain. So during this pandemic, all the schools, education institute, restaurants, playground were closed, which I've not experienced since my birth. The worst thing was separating from school, friends, not having any physical exercise, sitting the whole day inactive was making me bored and lazy for a few months. So to overcome that situation, I started helping my mom. My, I started helping my mom and having online chats with my relatives to whom I have not been in touch for a long time, searching the historical event of Nepal and learning native places of Nepal. So in this situation, I'm just doing like these things to do some activities and all. And thank you.
Thank you, Nishant. Next, we have Nikhil.
At first, I don't think, yeah, at first, I don't think I realized how serious this pandemic actually was. And I was actually a little bit excited for the first few weeks of lockdown as it meant a break from school. But as the weeks turned into months, I realized how serious it actually was. And then online school started, and I realized that being at school is actually better. But now in South Africa, the pandemic has slowly gotten better, and we have moved to stage 1, and we have started going back to school. So yeah, things in South Africa have started to get better. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil, for sharing your experience with us. Now, I would like to request Prathana for sharing her experience.
Namaste. Your pandemic suru hune belama चाहिँ I was in Nepal, but my mom and my sister they were in China. So after hearing about the coronavirus, they came to Nepal, and I was really happy that they came. But I was missing my friends too. But I was like happy too because I didn't have to go to school and I didn't have to study. But soon I realized that the coronavirus was getting worse, and I was really bored staying at home, and I really missed my friends and everybody. And I just learned many things too staying at home. I learned to cook and became more creative. I draw and everything, and learn more household works, help my mom, and yeah, and the situation is still the same in Nepal, so I can't go to school, so we have online classes. I miss my friends, but like the situation is almost really good in China, and my friends at China, they're going to school, and I really wished I was there because I could go to school with them. I could have so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you can get back to China soon. And Prashant, it's actually now your turn.
Oh yeah, I don't realize it. Okay guys, I will share my experience with you in my own native language, Nepali. And here I go. कोभिड-19 वा कोरोना भाइरसको प्रभाव नेपालमा बढ्दै गएपछि नेपाल सरकारले चैत 6 गतेदेखि निषेधाज्ञा वा लकडाउन जारी गरेको थियो। जब लकडाउन सुरु भयो, सामान्यतः सबै जस्तै म पनि पहिले उत्साहित थिएँ। परीक्षा पनि सकिएको थियो र आफ्नो नयाँ वर्षको बारेमा सोचिरहेको थिएँ। म त्यति बेला सोच्थेँ कि आखिर घरमा बस्न कति त गाह्रो हुन्छ होला र मलाई लाग्छ कि यो विचार प्रत्येक नागरिकको मनमा आएको थियो होला। र लकडाउन प्रारम्भ हुनसाथ हामीलाई हाम्रो घरभन्दा बाहिर जान रोकथाम लगाइएको थियो। सुरुमा त म प्रातः हास्य व्यङ्ग्य एवं चलचित्रहरू हेरेर आफ्नो समयहरू कटाइरहेको थिएँ। मेरो दिनचर्या करिब 1-2 हप्तासम्म चलिरह्यो, तर केही समयपछि मलाई आफ्नो दिनचर्या एवं सामाजिक स्थिति देख्दा निकै नै निराशा लागेर आउन थाल्यो। म आफ्नो पहिलेको समय र अहिलेको समय बीच तुलना गर्न थालेँ र यसबीच धेरै भिन्नता पाउन थालेँ। म आफ्ना साथीहरू बीच भएका अविस्मरणीय पल एवं प्रकृतिमा घुलमिल हुन जाँदा मनमा कैद भएका ती मनोरम दृश्यहरू त्यति बेला सम्झन्थे र अहिले यस महामारीका कारण कतै बाहिर जान नपाएको, साथीहरूसँग घुलमिल हुन नपाउँदा र विचरण गर्न नपाउँदा पनि मलाई निकै नै निराशा जागेर आएको थियो। र यस लकडाउनले गर्दा घरभन्दा बाहिर निस्किन प्रतिबन्धित हामी म आफ्नो घर अगाडि रहेको सानो चौरमा खेल्थेँ। एक्लै खेल्दा त्यति रमाइलो त लाग्दैन थियो, तर मनको निराशा भने अलि कम भएर आउँथ्यो। र यो सबै अनुभवहरूमध्ये मेरो सबैभन्दा महत्त्वपूर्ण अनुभव भनेको हाम्रो देश नेपालमा कक्षा 10 को इक्जाम यानि कि एसईलाई एक महत्त्वपूर्ण चरणको रूपमा लिइन्छ र नववर्ष 2077 सुरु भइसकेको 2 महिना हुँदासम्म पनि यता पढाइको कुनै सुरसार थिएन र मलाई कतै यो वर्ष खेर त जाने होइन, कतै मैले पढ्न पाउने त होइन जस्ता अनेकौं प्रश्नहरूले सताइरहेको थियो। यद्यपि समयको क्रममा मैले सबै प्रकारको विपदाको सामना गर्ने उपायहरू फेला पारेँ। मैले महसुस गरेँ कि यस लकडाउनले हामी सबैलाई एक उपयुक्त समय प्रदान गरेको छ, जसमा चाहिँ हामीले आफूलाई मनपर्ने चिजहरू गर्न सक्छौँ। त्यसैले मैले आफूलाई मनपर्ने चिजहरू जस्तै कविता लेखन, निबन्ध लेखन जस्ता कार्यहरूमा संलग्न हुन थालेँ र लगभग 1 महिनापछि म धेरै नै राम्रो महसुस गर्न थालेँ। र म यति मात्र भन्न चाहन्छु कि यति बेला हामीले गर्न सक्ने भनेको घरमा बस्ने र आफ्नो र प्रियजनहरूको हेरचाह गर्ने र एक सुन्दर भविष्यको कामना गर्ने हो। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Prashant. I think your answer was very relatable, and now it's Rubina's turn to share. Rubina, are you there?
Can we ask Rubina later? Oh yeah, she's here now.
She's here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start it without my video because I have some problem. So I spent my lockdown by doing many things. At first, my lockdown started with very sad feeling because it was my birthday, you know. I couldn't even go outside to do anything. I couldn't even buy cakes and celebrate it with anyone. I celebrated it with my sister, my mother, and only my father. I felt like crying very much badly. But later on it was fine. I started going in that situation, and like it was easier for me. I started studying in home, but later after some months in April my online class started. So at the first time it had been so many days I hadn't seen my friends. So when I saw them after so many days, I felt so nice and so glad. And like we were talking, yeah, and then we started, and our vacation came. At that time we learned many things like cooking, singing. Actually they taught us from school. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Rubina. That was a wonderful answer. Now, Suheem, would you like to share yours?
Yeah, sure. Namaste. My name is Suheem Thapa, and I'm currently residing in Lagos, Nigeria. COVID-19 affected Nigeria with the first case reported on 27th February 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a global lockdown over the past 6 months, which we are all aware of, as a result of spontaneous increase in number of cases. This resulted in a worldwide economic depression, which has led to various organizations now restarting their programs without assuring the full safety of their employees. My father was in lockdown for only 2 weeks before he was called back to work, and this really frightens me. Educational organizations worldwide has to date been kept at a halt. Self-education is now the present form of education, and this has increased the responsibility for us students. Some of the problems that I face with this are I have schools in the morning very early, around 4 a.m., and this has not been plain sailing for me. But I have kept myself busy during this time. I've participated in a few online competitions like the Harvard MUN and the global speech competition we had, and this one as well. So the lockdown has prevented my plans along with everyone's, and traveling was a part of that. This is particularly saddening considering the fact that my grandfather is ill, and as a responsibility of mine, I wish to be beside him and supporting him at this moment. And a few of my hobbies include playing football, and this cannot be done at this case due to safety concerns as well. So I've not met my sister as well over a year, and I really miss her. But there's nothing I can do about it. So while we are stuck at home, the best thing we can do right now is to spend time with our family. So I spend a lot of my time playing board games with my mother or helping her in the garden we have at the back. And then I learned cooking as well during this time. But then the most important thing I feel is that I might be going off to college. I will be going off to college very soon, and I want to create as many beautiful memories as I can. So as a whole, it has been a very mixed experience for sure. So some of the issues we faced over here was like for getting household supplies, we go in no more than a pair. It's either my dad or my mom or me or my mom. And we always wear gloves and masks. And once we return the goods, we always wash our hands and go to bathe. And then we unpack all the goods again. So in the recent weeks, we have invited a few of our friends over, but we always make sure it's no more than 2 or 3 people. So the initial fear of coronavirus over here and most places of the world has slowly faded, and the conditions over here are really improving. There are about 57,000 cases over here, but then the rate at which it is increasing is decreasing every day. So this has resulted in people going out more, and this really frightens me for the main reason that some people are not they're very ignorant and they do not wear masks all the time, and this can lead to a second wave of the virus. The thought that things might never go back, that really haunts me on a personal level, and also that we might have to consider such a situation the new normal. All we can do now is to be optimistic and go on with our lives. I would like to conclude by hoping everyone is in good health and safety in such a difficult period. Thank you.
That was a very well thought answer. Thank you. And Samira, would you like to share yours?
Yes, namaste everyone. My name is Samira, and 9 months ago, I didn't believe that our world could come to a standstill. 9 months ago, I didn't believe that someone so far away could change my life. 9 months ago, I didn't believe that we could be endangered. But here we are. You and I living our lives through the screen. Feels so familiar, yet so different. Whether it's maintaining proper hygiene or wearing masks in public, we are finally prioritizing practices we've forgotten for way too long. Only today, sadly, we realize the importance of health more than anything. And during the lockdown, I've realized that we are one of the lucky ones. What has coronavirus given us? We have gotten time during the lockdown, and I've gotten so much time to reflect. And more than anything, it has made me angry. Angry that we have been neglecting so many things, that we have forgotten so many things, and that it has taken almost 1 million people to leave this world for us to understand the importance of hygiene, of a simple thing like washing our hands. Yes, this time has been exciting for some. It has given us more time to sleep, to watch Netflix, to spend time with our families. But you and I, more than anyone, understand that having family back home in Nepal, being so far away from them, and understanding that there's so many other underprivileged families who do not get the same facilities as us, and who are not as privileged to even get the medical services when they need, and especially at a time like this, makes me very sad. This pandemic has given everyone time to grow. I have so many friends that have started to pay attention to themselves. They've started working out, they're writing, just like many of you, and just like me. But it has also given us, I think all of us, just time to understand that we have been doing so much damage to our Mother Earth. For so long, we have considered ourselves as the most intelligent species on Earth. Yet here we are being attacked by a virus that can't be seen by the naked eye. And I think that's crazy. This pandemic has definitely been very difficult for me and my family, having experienced coronavirus firsthand by my mother and father, and having lost my grandmother. This pandemic seriously set a lot of things straight in my life. I will never forget the damage this pandemic has brought on to my life. However, I will also never forget the strength that my parents had during this time. And they've taught me so, so much. It has been difficult enough to deal with grief while being so far away and unable to go back, and so difficult to get closure. But my father and mother, more than anyone, have kept it together. And my father, while still being diagnosed with coronavirus, still with the NRNA, worked together to help migrant workers in Malaysia. Because there's so many people who have it worse than us. Because today, more than ever, we forget about ourselves and we start to appreciate everything that we have. Because right now, all we can do is help those who are worse than us. Because there are always people, and there sadly will always be. Yes, this is a bit different from what everyone else has said, but my experience has been different. It has been an eye-opener. I'm a second-year business student in university, and every single day we're forced to think of new ways that we can change the world, an idea that can change our society. But ironically enough, just when I thought that one person couldn't change our society to this extent, here we had one man, one woman, one individual who changed the course of humanity. And I think it's been quite a journey. There have always obviously been positive side effects to this, just like many of you have said, where we've focused on personal growth, and definitely we started focusing more on mental health, which is very good. But I've also found this quote by Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama. And when asked what surprised him most about humanity, he said, man. And I love this quote because it is so accurate. And it says, he lives as if he's never going to die, and then he dies having never really lived. I think today we understand that health is more important than money. Health is more important than anything that we have prioritized up till now. And I think it's time to change. And I hope that this time has given us all to realize how important and how fragile life is, and how quickly we all can lose each other. And I hope we never forget this. Thank you.
Thank you, Samira, for sharing your experience with us. Now, I would like to request Tapasya for sharing her experience.
Days were rolling smoothly. Life was normalcy, but when COVID-19 appeared, everything became unexpected. Especially when the lockdown started, school closures and physical distancing are all having a big impact on me. Exams were cancelled, the sun was shining. I was happy and confident I would be okay. After all, how hard could staying at home possibly be? After a while, the reality of the situation started to sink in. The novelty of being at home wore off, and I started to struggle. I suffered from regular panic attacks, frozen on the floor in my room. I had nightmares most nights and struggled to sleep. It was as if I was stuck, trapped in my house and in my own head. I didn't know how to cope, although my parents were giving me thoughts. However, over time, I found ways to deal with the pressure. I realized that lockdown gave me more time to the things I loved, hobbies that had been previously slammed by school works. I started baking, drawing, and writing again and felt free for the first time in months. I had forgotten how good it felt to be creative. I started spending more time with my family. I hadn't realized how much I missed them. Almost a month later, I felt so much better. I understand how difficult this must be, but it's important to remember that none of us is alone. No matter how scared or trapped or alone you feel, things can only get better. Take time to revisit the things you love and remember that all of this will eventually pass. All we can do right now is stay at home, look after ourselves and our loved ones, and look forward to a better future. After a long time, Casey is getting back to normalcy. All the schools and international flights are closed now. I'm hoping for a normal life very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone had such amazing, well thought and thorough answers. They were all very well said. And now let's uh, um let's go on to our next question. Uh, can anyone explain how this virus transmits from one person to another? I mean, there are many ways, but would anyone like to volunteer? How about Abhilasha? Can you say it?
Well, I mean, it's from what I've read, it says it spreads through droplets. That's why we're wearing masks. Like if you cough or sneeze, or even when you speak for like a prolonged amount of time, you can become infected by even touching surfaces that other people have touched, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation.
Moving on, let me ask now Prathana. Prathana, can you please tell us what are the major symptoms of COVID-19? Or I mean to say that, how do you suspect if you have any COVID or not?
COVID-19 symptoms, like if we have COVID-19, then it's high fever, we get high fever and headache, and sometimes our throat pains a lot and frequent loose motions, and yeah.
Thank you. Now, Jasmine and Rubina, can either of you guys tell us what are the major effects of COVID for like students?
All right. So basically, for students, right? All right. I don't see anything positive that's happening. I mean, there are, but then what I mainly want to focus is on the negative effects that's happening. And for example, students are they're forced to stare at the screen for like 5 to 7 hours every day, or like every other day, and then they're loaded with extra homework, which apparently teachers think that okay, they're at home, so they got nothing to do, so they have to write a lot of homework. So that's number one that does not make sense to me. Number two, mental health, because a lot of students, like trust me when I say this, a lot of students uh, go to schools, even though no matter how bad schools are, they still go to schools to escape from how mentally toxic their household environment is. So because of that, they're just stuck in home and they're not able to do anything about it. And that's number two. All right. Number three is about, okay, no, since I spoke about mental health, um, this is leading to depression and anxiety, and also a lot of people have been suicidal. Even in Nepal, within the first 3 to 4 months of lockdown, there were over 1,000 suicide cases because people were not able to express themselves to the outer world. They were not able to get out of their four walls. And the next thing that I absolutely don't understand is the fee structure. Why is that you having to learn virtually, you have to pay the same amount as you're doing physically, like on campus? All right, why do you have to pay that much? Now, even if you check any colleges or any university, they have two options. Mostly they have two options: on campus or off campus education. All right, now the fee structure for both of them is always different. Off campus is always cheap. And now, why do students have to pay the same amount as they do on campus? And when you ask people about it, they usually reply with, because teachers are unemployed right now, so which is why we need to pay them. But okay, our parents probably go through the same thing. It's not, I mean, there's two sides to both the story. I mean, there are two sides to every story. So the fee structure is also one thing that does not make sense to me. Um, and yeah, lack of physical interaction, like there's no sports activity that students are engaging themselves in. But then again, in such a situation, I wouldn't prefer going to schools physically and learning either, because that's even more risk. But maybe we could do something about virtual classes. So that is what I think about students and what they're going through during the lockdown.
Thank you for that answer. And Rubina, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I would like to add that when because of this coronavirus, we can't go to school, and like in Nepal, in some places, there are no internet, no laptops, and no mobiles. So like, how do they study? They can't study, and then to study the books which they have, and like, and the positive things of this is like we can study and we can at least talk to our friends and teachers, and we can even do physical as our teacher tell us to do it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bikram, you raised your hand. Would you like to go next?
Yeah, I wanted to add on to the points. I absolutely agree with both the speakers. I agree that it caused a lot of problems for the students, but I also think that in everything, to everything, there's an opportunity. And I think that even though it has basically stopped our education, has produced a lot of struggles to many students around the world, we still have an opportunity for personal growth. I mean, many students that I know explore stuff they didn't even know they wanted to explore, such as arts, and they improve their critical thinking, and they start supporting many NGOs and provide for the poorer people because they understand their point of privilege and they want to help those who are in need. And I think that's coronavirus is bad, but it still has the situation has brought better stuff for our generation as we know how to cope with situations like these. Yeah.
Thank you for that answer. Our next question is about jobs. Did your parents lose their jobs during the pandemic? And is there anyone who wants to answer this question? Well, since I can't see if anyone has to raise their hand or not, I'm not sure why. But Gunjal, would you like to answer?
Personally, I don't know anybody who's lost their jobs, but currently companies are being forced to retrench their staff and casual workers, and this has put a lot of it's put a large impact on many households because because their quality of life is being changed. Some people, this means that they have poor food security, and for some others, this means no longer being able to afford luxuries anymore. Thank you.
I know what you mean. My mother, she didn't lose her job. She left her job due to her health conditions, and it's been fairly scary. I sometimes I'm like, wait, if I get it, I don't have health care anymore. So like, I don't know how go through that if I get COVID or anybody in my family gets COVID, and it's very scary. Is there anybody else who would like to add? No? Okay.
Hey guys, we all know that. Okay, guys, we all know that in the present situation, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced to close everything, including the financial institution. So, Samira, can you please tell us how does it will affect the economical status of the country you live in?
Hi. Well, I definitely do think that because of COVID, we've faced economic loss worldwide because of everything closing and shutting down. A simple, not obviously simple thing, but major companies like airlines, they're going bankrupt because there have been no flights this entire time. However, I do feel that COVID has definitely impacted Russia just as much as any other country, but thankfully our healthcare is very strong, so it has been a huge support. However, I think that Russia has faced as much economic loss as probably any country as such, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. It, sorry.
Thank you,
Prashant,
Samira,
you
for
know that the whole world is like facing this critical situation of coronavirus. What do you feel like seeing this world underneath the prison of COVID-19?
Yeah, Sweeney, in this present situation, we can find many people dying due to coronavirus and suffering from COVID-19. By seeing that, I feel so much regretful to all of those who have lost their loved ones. And after seeing the world in this condition, I feel so much dejected, and I wish it could be a dream. And when we open our eyes, the world will be as stable as before. But it is not possible. So only thing I want to say is that let us follow the precautions, preventive precautions, and stay safe from COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you for that, for your answer, Prashant. I think I really feel that answer now. Is there anybody who would like to add?
Am I allowed to add?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I just want to share my experience with you guys. Some of you were already here yesterday in the practice. You have heard it before as well, but I only have same experience. Just like you guys, I had to stay inside all the time. And when the COVID started, I was pregnant, and I started working from home. In the beginning, just like you guys, I was like enjoying at the fullest. I was having so much time for myself. I was like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this, it's good, I can stay home, I can take care of everything from home. And I was very happy. I worked from home, I could take care of my daughter. She was all the time in front of my eyes, and I was having fun. But later, as the time passes by, it started getting monotonous, and I was like, oh my god, it's getting long days, I can't pass the time anymore. The same routine every single day. I don't get to see my friends, I don't get to see anyone. Even within the family, we were talking over the phone, we did not get to see each other because everything was like closed, right? So we're not allowed to go outside the house. We're not allowed to have like more than 10 people in the beginning. And it was kind of like scary, very scary. And I was scared. I normally don't get scared with the situations, but because I was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm very vulnerable to this, and I should be very, um, careful. And I would not touch anything. Even if I go outside, I would not drink, I would not eat, nothing. I would go in my car, get out for like a few minutes, and then come inside right away. So that's how I was passing my time. But honestly, even in that dark side, I was having, as Bikram said, I was having so much for my personal growth. I got so many trainings done in that time, and I got certificates for those different trainings. And I was actually planning to do this webinar in July. We were all full prepared because I had so much time. But on the date, I think a week prior to the scheduled date, I gave birth to my daughter, second daughter. So we could not do this program in July. We had to postpone it. luckily we get to do this program in the webinar of like second global conference as a webinar. So of course it's a dark side. Of course it was very problematic for all of us, and it was really problem for all of us, but we can see some lights in it as well. You know, like there were so many times that my daughter was making videos. You know, they do gacha club or something, so they make videos of different aspect of life, like, oh, I need to put this aspect on this. So you have so much time to yourself. You can think about yourself. You can do like, oh yeah, I need to improve this part of my life or this part of myself. So please think that way and get ahead in life. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for your answer, Bima Auntie.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
Bimala mom, congrats on your baby. I forgot to say that yesterday, but yeah, I just had to say it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Prashant, you can go ahead.
Okay. Now let me ask Nikhil. At the present situation, all the medical personnel and the frontline workers are at high risk of COVID-19, but they are still fighting for us. Perhaps they are mentally stressed as well. So in this situation, if they are facing the problem, then how can we make them safe from COVID-19? Nikhil, do you have any alternative idea for this?
No, not really, but it's been a little bit worrying as my dad is also a medical personnel. So he's also been going to work every day, and he's had to go through lots of testing whenever he arrives at the hospital, and he has to get screened, and also the patients as well. If it is a very serious matter, then they still go through the operation, even if they don't know if the patient has COVID virus or if they don't, and they'll only be able to test them afterwards. So yeah, it has been a little bit worrying.
Thank you, Nikhil, for a wonderful answer. Does any other participant want to add something?
Maybe Yasmin Begum Sayed ma'am wants to say something. How about that, guys? Do you want to hear her?
Of course.
Okay. Okay.
Hello everyone, namaste from Yasmin auntie. Welcome to here. सबैलाई म स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु हाम्रो प्रोग्राम।
दिदी हजुर म्युट हुनुहुन्छ।
Sorry. Namaste everyone. I'm Yasmin Begum from Saudi Arabia. र आज स्पेशली चाहिँ हाम्रो बिमला आन्टीले तपाईको बिमला आन्टीले धेरै कुराहरू राख्नुभयो, यहाँ हाम्रो डाक्टर सञ्जीवले धेरै कुराहरू राख्नुभयो। स्पेशली मलाई लाग्छ तपाईहरु सबै नेपाली पनि बुझ्नुहुन्छ र कतिपय हाम्रो ऑडियन्सहरुले नेपालीमा पनि केही सुन्न पाऊँ भनेर लास्ट प्रोग्रामहरुमा धेरै कुराहरू आएको हुँदा मैले आज मेरो कुरा तपाईहरुको माझ हाम्रो ऑडियन्सको माझ नेपालीमा नै केही कुराहरू राख्न चाहन्छु। फर्स्ट अफ अल म थ्यांक यू भन्न चाहन्छु हाम्रो डाक्टर सञ्जीव सापकोटालाई। उहाँले जुन ग्रेट हामीलाई अपर्च्युनिटी दिनुभएको छ, यस्तो प्यान्डेमिक टाइममा उहाँले प्रब्लमलाई हामीले सल्युसनमा चेन्ज गरेर एउटा किन यो ब्रान्ड प्रोग्राम नगर्ने भनेर जुन कन्सेप्ट लिएर आउनु भएको छ, उहाँको लागि थ्यांक यू सो मच भन्न चाहन्छु। र उहाँले हाम्रो यहाँ बिमला बहिनी हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँले मलाई एज अ कोअर्डिनेटर एज अ सपोर्टर मलाई चुज गर्नुभयो र म बिमला बहिनीलाई पनि थ्यांक यू भन्छु। बिमला बहिनी र म धेरै लामो टाइमदेखि डिस्कस गर्दै यो कुरालाई अगाडि बढाउँदै थियौँ। थ्यांक यू बिमला बहिनी। र हजुरहरू सबै हाम्रो बच्चाहरूलाई म थ्यांक यू भन्न चाहन्छु, किन विदाउट यु हामी सक्सेस नै हुने थिएनौँ। हजुरहरूको साथ सपोर्टले आज हाम्रो प्रोग्राम एकदम राम्रो रूपमा कन्डक्ट भइरहेको मैले फिल गरिरहेको छु। हिजो हाम्रो रिहर्सल प्रोग्राममा पनि हामीले यसो प्रोग्राम हेर्दा हामी त्यति सक्सेस नहुने हो कि कस्तो होला यो प्रोग्राम भनेर हामी एकदम सोचिरहेको थियौँ, वरिड पनि थियौँ। तर टुडे हैन, आज हामीले यस्तो राम्रो प्रोग्राम गर्यौं। तपाईहरुको इक्वल पार्टिसिपेसन, इक्वल इनर्जेटिक प्रेजेन्टेसनले म एकदम ह्यापी भएको छु। मलाई लाग्छ धेरै बच्चाहरू यहाँ तपाईहरुलाई हेर्दै पनि हुनुहुन्छ, हाम्रो अल एजको अडियन्स हुनुहुन्छ हामीहरूसँग, उहाँहरू पनि मच एप्रिसिएट गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ हजुरहरूलाई। र एक्सपिरियन्सको कुरा गर्दा हामीले यहाँ हाम्रो पार्टिसिपेन्टहरूबाट धेरै धेरै डिफ्रेन्ट एक्सपिरियन्सहरू सुन्यौँ, स्याड सुन्यौँ, इनर्जेटिक सुन्यौँ, हामी ह्याप्पिनेस सुन्यौँ, रुबिनाबाट बर्थडे मनाउन नपाएको सुन्यौँ, ह्याप्पी बर्थडे रुबिना। समिरालाई मैले कस्तो उसले यास्मिन आन्टीको जस्तै भाइब रहेछ समिरामा, समिराले पनि नेगेटिभिटीमा पोजिटिभिटी देख्दो रहेछ। मलाई खुसी लाग्यो समिराको कुरा सुनेर। उहाँको समिराको प्यारेन्ट्स, सुहिमको ग्रान्ड प्यारेन्ट्सलाई गेट वेल सुन भन्न चाहन्छु। र हामीले जुन कतिपय कुराहरू यहाँ राख्यौँ, कतिले पढाइको कुराहरू, कतिजनाले आफ्नो बर्थडे मनाउन नपाएको, कतै स्टप भएको, कतै हेल्थ कन्सियसको विषयमा कुराहरू आयो। तर मेरो कुरा भन्नुपर्दा म साउदी अरबमा बस्छु र साउदी अरब स्पेसल्ली अल टाइम पेन्डेमिक सिचुएसनमा बसे जस्तो नै हो। अलमोस्ट हामी बाहिर त्यति सपिङ र आउटिङको बाहेक हामी त्यति साह्रो घुम्न नजाने, घरमा नै बस्ने हुँदा मलाई त्यति इफेक्ट गर्यो जस्तो लाग्दैन। र यो अपर्च्युनिटीलाई मैले त धेरै नै पोजिटिभ वेमा पाएँ जस्तो लाग्छ, किनभने यसअघि पनि हामीले हाम्रो सेकेन्ड जेनेरेसनलाई एनआरएनसँग कसरी इन्भल्भ गर्ने त भनेर हाम्रो धेरै पहिलादेखि एनआरएन हिस्ट्रीमा यो कन्सेप्ट थियो। तर डाक्टर सञ्जीव सापकोटाले हाम्रो बच्चाहरूलाई, यसअघि तपाईँहरूलाई पनि थाहा छ, हामीले हाम्रो 8 to 12 इयर्सको बच्चाहरूलाई राखेर एउटा प्रोग्राम वेबिनार गऱ्यौँ कोभिड रिलेटेड। एकदम सक्सेस भयो। सबै प्यारेन्ट्सले, सबै बच्चाहरूले एक्साइटेडली यसलाई लिएको हुँदा अब हामीले सल्लाह गऱ्यौँ डाक्टर सञ्जीव बहिनी विमलासँग सल्लाह गरेर अब हामीले टिमलाई पनि किन नसमेट्ने त भनेर हामीले प्रोसेसमा थियौँ। प्रोग्राम हामी सोचिराखेको थियौँ। मेन टाइममा हाम्रो ग्लोबल कन्फरेन्स आउँदा, ग्लोबल कन्फरेन्स वर्ल्ड वाइड वाचिङको सब्जेक्ट भएकोले हामीले यसरीमा नै इन्भल्भ गरौँ भनेर यो प्रोग्राम राख्यौँ। र अल ओभर द वर्ल्ड मिडल इस्ट टिम, मिडल इस्टलाई म थ्याङ्क यू भन्न चाहन्छु। नेपालबाट पार्टिसिपेट हुने बच्चाहरूलाई थ्याङ्क यू भन्न चाहन्छु। रसिया, नाइजेरिया, साउथ अफ्रिका लगायत अन्य ठाउँबाट पनि आएको बच्चाहरूलाई म वेलकम भन्दै थ्याङ्क यू पनि भन्न चाहन्छु। र गुड एक्सपिरियन्स त मेरो धेरै नै छ भन्नुपर्छ। यो टाइममा पनि मैले घरभित्रै बसेर भए पनि धेरै राम्रो राम्रो हेल्थ कन्सियस मिटिङहरू अटेन्ड गरेँ। फरेन इम्प्लोइमेन्टको कन्डिसनमा आउने धेरै मिटिङहरू, जुन अब्स्ट्याकल्सहरू छ त्यसको कुरा गर्नु पाएँ। धेरै हाम्रो एम्बेसडरहरूसँग मिटिङ गर्नु पाएँ। नेपालको हरेक लेभलको पोलिटिकल इस्युजको विषयहरूमा मैले आफ्नो डिबेट डिस्कसन राख्न पाएँ। धेरै हामीले पेन्डेमिक फेजलाई हामीले जस्ट क्रिटिकल वेमा मात्र लिएनौँ, यसमा हामीले अपर्च्युनिटिज देख्यौँ र हामीले धेरै कामहरू पनि गऱ्यौँ। र अहिले कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरि धेरै बच्चाहरूसँग हामीले उहाँहरूको एक्सपिरियन्स मात्र सुनेनौँ, हामीले उहाँहरूको एक्सपिरियन्स प्लस हामीले एउटा इन्टरेक्सन पनि राख्यौँ, जसमा उहाँहरू यति धेरै फरवर्ड हुनुहुँदो रहेछ। उहाँहरूले हिजोसम्म केही बच्चाहरूले कस्तो क्वेसन आउने होला, कस्तो प्रिपरेसन गर्ने होला भनेर वरिड भइरहेको सिचुएसनमा अहिले हाम्रो बच्चाहरूलाई अननोइङली पनि हामीले जुन क्वेसन राख्यौँ सबै कन्सियस, सबैले वेल प्रिपेयर एन्सर दिनुभयो। त्यसको लागि पनि थ्याङ्क यू सो मच भन्न चाहन्छु। नानी मैया बाबुहरू, तपाईँहरू भनेको हाम्रो सेकेन्ड जेनेरेसन, अब पछिको पुस्ता भनेको तपाईँ हो। अबको एनआरएन डोर्याउने हात तपाईँहरूले धेरै हदसम्म हामीसँग जोडिसक्नु भएको छ। त्यसको लागि पनि मेनी थ्याङ्क यू सो मच अल अफ यू भन्न चाहन्छु। र एउटा कुरा यहाँ आएन, एउटा स्पेसल्ली कुनै पनि कन्टेस्टेन्टबाट या हाम्रो चेयर हाम्रो बिमला बहिनीबाट नआएको एउटा कुरा म एड गर्दै कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन पनि भन्न चाहन्छु। यो पेन्डेमिक फेजमा हामीले एउटा स्पिच, ग्लोबल स्पिच कन्टेस्ट पनि राखेका थियौँ, जसमा हाम्रो धेरै राम्रो प्रेजेन्टेसन दिनुभयो। मिडल इस्ट टिम हुनुहुन्थ्यो त्यहाँ, र हाम्रो विनर हाम्रो अभिलाषा खतिवडा यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ, हाम्रो छोरी समिरा, बाबु बद्रीजीको बाबु सरी विक्रम बाबु यहाँ, अनि सुहिम बाबु यहाँ, छोरी जस्मिन यहाँ हामीले एज अ गेस्ट हामीले उहाँलाई इन्भाइट गरेको मैले त्यस्तो सोचेको छु। किनभने अहिले यो ग्लोबल कन्टेस्टले तपाईँहरूलाई जुन अपर्च्युनिटी स्पेस दिनुपर्ने थियो पेन्डेमिकले गर्दा, त्यो अपर्च्युनिटीहरू नपाएको हुँदा हामीले यही प्रोग्राममा समेटेर उहाँलाई अनर गरौँ न भनेर एज अ अनर वाइज पनि हाम्रो टिम, हाम्रो डाक्टर सञ्जीव बिमला बहिनीसँग सल्लाह भएर हामीले ल्याएको यो हाम्रो तर्फबाट तपाईँहरूलाई अनर हो भन्ने सोच्नु होला। तपाईँहरूले यति राम्रो प्रेजेन्टेसन दिनुभयो स्पिचमा, जुन हामीले सोचेको पनि थिएनौँ। अहिले वर्ल्ड वाइड तपाईँहरू हाइलाइट हुनुभएको छ। बेस्ट विसेस फर फर्दर डेज भन्न चाहन्छु। धेरै राम्रो राम्रो काम कुरा मबाट भएको छ। एउटा स्याड एक्सपिरियन्स मैले पनि भन्नुपर्छ, यो टाइममा मेरो बच्चाहरू दुईटा आज छोरी जस्मिन पनि यही छ आज हामी फर्स्ट टाइम छोरी जस्मिन र मदर यास्मिन सेम स्टेजमा सेम स्क्रिन सेयर गर्दैछौँ त्यसको लागि पनि खुसी छु बच्चाहरू नेपाल हामी यहाँ छौँ त्यो पेनफुल मोमेन्ट आफैमा छ तापनि एउटा अर्को पनि दुःखको कुरा मैले थोरै समय लिएर भन्न चाहे यहाँ हाम्रो एकजना एकदम मिडिया पर्सन भाइ हुनुहुन्थ्यो एकदम इनर्जेटिक भाइ रोशन एन्ड श्रेष्ठ भन्ने उहाँले एभ्री डे डेली बेसिसमा वर्ल्ड वाइड कोरोनाको अपडेट दिनुहुन्थ्यो तर अनलकिली भनौँ धेरै दुःखको साथ भन्नुपर्छ त्यो भाइलाई हामीले कोभिडको कारणले गुमाए उहाँलाई पनि रेस्ट इन पिस रोशन भाइ भन्न चाहन्छु र स्पेसल्ली आज मैले केही बच्चाहरूको नाम छुटाए तापनि सबै बच्चाहरूलाई धेरै धेरै माया यसै गरी हाम्रो एनआरएन अभियानसँग जोड्दै जानुहोला हामी पछिको अभियन्ता तपाईँहरू हुनुहुन्छ बेस्ट विशेस टु अल भन्न चाहन्छु थ्याङ्क यू सो मच
Thank you, Miss Yasmin, for your opinion. It was very well thought and nice. And anyways, it's already 8 o'clock here, actually 8:04 to be exact, and I have school coming up in a few minutes, so I have to leave. This was a really great interaction, and I hope that we meet together on another platform one day. And I would like to thank Miss Bima and Miss Yasmin, the coordinators, for this opportunity. I would also like to thank Dr. Sanjeev Sapkota for organizing this grand webinar. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Aswini. It was nice running this webinar with you. Thank you so much so far. Bye.
सँग कति टाइम छ अब बिमला बहिनी
25 minutes दिदी
25
yes
अब हाम्रो
Sunil has raised his hand.
Okay.
Yes, मलाई एउटा point मात्र एड गर्नु थियो लाइक जस्तै हाम्रो मित्रहरू कि हामीले चिनेको मान्छेहरूलाई कोभिड पनि भएपछि लाइक हामीले रियाक्ट गर्नुहुन्न हामीले सपोर्टिभ हुनुपर्छ बेसिकली किनभने दे विल अल्सो बी डिमोरलाइज्ड एन्ड देन दे विल फिल मोर होपलेस so just like you should just treat it normally in front of other people because they will feel demoralized if they have it or any other case. Thank you.
अब हामी अरु बच्चाहरुको पनि केही छ केही भन्नु छ भने एड गर्न हामी टाइम दिन्छौं हाम्रो बच्चाहरुलाई हाम्रो भाइ बहिनीहरुलाई Thank you sir.
You can carry over.
Okay guys, अब हामी अघि बढ्न सक्छौं हामीले दिनहु रूपमा सुन्न सक्छौं कि धेरै मानिसहरू यस भाइरसलाई जितेर निको एवं स्वस्थ भएका छन् यद्यपि यसको भ्याक्सिन भने अहिलेसम्म पनि बन्न सकेको छैन त्यसैले तपस्या के तपाई हामीलाई यो रोग लागिसकेपछि यसको निवारणका निम्ति के काम गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुरामा केही सुझाव दिन चाहनुहुन्छ
I think when we get this disease instead of going to hospital we have to stay at home and increase our humanity power drink like there are many ways to get rid of this disease we have to increase humanity power and yeah I think this much only guys
धन्यवाद तपस्या अरु कुनै वक्ताहरूले केही यसमा थप्न चाहनुहुन्छ
I just wanted to say that since we're talking about precautions and cures, since I'm stuck in Nepal, I've noticed how like we all know how at what stage our country is in the world and how we're so underdeveloped, and it's sad how people for a living they have no choice but to go out and open their shops and go at the bus parks and sit there and sell their stuffs. It is so sad, and like I feel privileged. I think we all are very privileged, and I thank God for that. But seeing the situation here, it's horrible, and I wish the government did something about it. But I don't know, KP only was just drink turmeric water, that's it, and nothing else. So that's one thing that I absolutely no, that's one of the things that coming to Nepal made me realize that okay, I am very wealthy in terms of basic things, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys for sharing your experience in this question. Now let us move forward. हामीले अहिलेको वर्तमान समयमा हेर्ने हो भने विश्वका शक्तिशाली राष्ट्रहरू मानिने अमेरिका इटाली, ब्राजिल, बेल्जियम जस्ता धेरै राष्ट्रहरूमा कोरोनाको बिगबिगी फैलिँदै गइरहेको छ र यसका कारणले पनि धेरै मानिसहरूले आफ्नो ज्यान गुमाएका छन्। र यसै सन्दर्भमा सुहिम र प्रार्थना, तपाईहरूको देशमा अहिले के भइरहेको छ, के तपाईँ यहाँ भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that in the big countries, basically, the restrictions in some of them have not been as as strict, or they've not been as strict. Like, let's say in America or Brazil, it's not as strict as somewhere else, such as, let's say, even in China, where it all started, they have effectively controlled it themselves in a very short period of time. And it just shows that if you want to take an initiative, and you can do it, if you take an initiative and you work towards it, you can achieve it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Prathana, can you please add something?
I'm currently in Nepal, but according to what I heard from my friends, everything is almost normal in China. They are going to school and everything, malls and everything are open, and the situation is pretty good there.
Thank you, Prathana. Zia, do you want to add something?
So like I stay in Qatar and there's no lockdowns and all. There are some shops being closed, and as we do have an app called Atlas, it's like when you stay at home, there are like 4 barcodes like green, red, gray, yellow. We can just know, and we need to take the app everywhere when we go out. And it's just we need to take the precautions, and it's not a huge thing, and everything is controlling because of a really nice environment and the government too. And everyone is safe right now. We are going back to schools, and there are all the shops open, parks are open, everything is normal now, and till time everything will be fine.
Thank you, Zia. Nikhil, do you want to add something?
Yeah, here in South Africa, we recently just moved to stage 1 lockdown. So now most of the shops and malls and cinemas have reopened, and some of the schools have also reopened. So yeah, everything is slowly getting back to normal.
Thank you all. Now let me move forward. Hi, Robina. How are you hanging out with your friends these days? Do you see them physically or just see them on online portal?
Yeah, I hang out with my friends from online. We after school also we do video chat. Actually, I have some neighborhood friends. With them, I do physical activities. Physically, I meet them. Yeah.
Samira, do you want to add something?
But it's very better to meet them physically than online, because in online we can't talk more than 25 minutes. But when you are physical, then we can play with them for 2 hours, more than that. So it's very good when you are physical, not online.
Thank you, Ravina, for sharing your experience. Then, Samira, do you want to add something?
Yes, I wanted to talk about how, yes, life has been coming back to normal after the past 6 months of having a lockdown. And I think that almost all activities are beginning to resume. Meanwhile, for the past 6 months, we have definitely seen a change in our environment. We have heard so much about the decrease in pollution levels because there has been a complete stop in production, and whether it's flights, whether it's like producing anything and everything. And I think that's wonderful. However, I read an article on National Geographic because I'm an environmental studies student, and I really do care about the environment, and I'm so aware of the carbon footprint that you and I leave as we travel every single year, and the impact this has on our environment. Right now, I definitely did think that everything was going to be going for the better, will be more cautious. Our Mother Earth is healing. However, after the past 6 months, we have had so much loss, so much economic loss, that more companies would like to turn the loss into profits again and try to make them even more than what they were before. And I think that we're going to enter such a difficult time, and we're going to surpass the pollution levels and our production levels more than before. We've seen it happen before, and this is what is being predicted by so many environmentalists. And I think that is really, really concerning. I do think that we should have learned a little bit from this pandemic, seeing how much our environment has benefited from our lockdown, but also take all of our activities and make them more environment friendly. I mean, since everything has come to a halt, we've stopped doing unnecessary activities. And maybe it is for the better. Maybe, and I hope that we find a new way to live our life, because we all know how fragile our life is and how important the environment is to us. It is where we live, and we certainly cannot forget about it. And yeah.
Thank you all for sharing your wonderful answer. At the present situation, we all know that many countries are controlling the COVID-19 through the lockdown and massive use of health services. So Nishant, can you please say us what are the major strategies taken out by your country?
Yeah, over here everything is open. Like now, everything like everywhere is stable, and all the situation are controlled. There's not too much death recorded over here, and yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Vikram, do you want to add something?
Yeah. Basically, I think that our government has taken a very good care of our citizens, because the lockdown was imposed very fast, and yet still Russia is fourth in the coronavirus cases around the world right now. And I think we just need to educate people more, because they don't know the scientific explanation about how coronavirus develops and how it can develop without symptoms inside your body. And that's what's important. And many people are ignorant, because people of our age who are young and full of life, they go outside, they play, and they don't really care about it. And their parents, their grandparents are the ones who suffer, because once their grandparents get it, it's a really high chance of not surviving it. So I think we need to be very mindful of that. In addition, I wanted to talk about the economic situation. I feel like it's time for us to realize that we need to support small and medium businesses more, and that we have, throughout this coronavirus pandemic, we have witnessed how many of the biggest companies around the world have been only increasing their stock market shares and their economic development throughout the pandemic, and it hasn't affected them yet. I mean, Amazon has increased their shares about like 20%, and that's crazy. And I think what we need to get done is get our government's attention towards the small businesses and towards the medium-sized businesses, and provide their full support towards them, and maybe even tax the large businesses more. Yeah, thank you.
I would like to raise a point.
Yeah, okay, can see it.
Okay, so in South Africa, as you know, we have a high number of rape cases yearly. And with many people staying at home, what has happened is there's been an increase in child abuse and gender-based violence. And also with pupils being forced to do online studying, UNICEF has told us that there's a high risk of sexually abused online. So these kind of issues have always existed, but it's just made us more aware of the severity of these problems, and it's just an opportunity for action to be taken.
Yeah, thank you for your experience. Now let us move forward. Now I want to ask Zia, how is your school going on? Are you attending your school physically or attending them through online like as us?
So like in a week, we do have 2 days in school. We need to go to school and we have to ask where to go to school. We need to also go to online. Like if we go to school, the teachers have to interact with us also through online. So it's not that good because it's a little toxic. Like it's not that good for teachers because it's hard to like interact with us and them. And also we do not have a lot of numbers of students coming to school, and they have also closed the school in past 2 weeks. They have opened for like 2 weeks and then they closed it. So right now we are going on online and yeah.
Thank you for your answer, Zia. Now, Rubina, can you please share your experience?
रुबिना भन्दा अघि एउटा इन्फर्म गरौँ बाबु प्रसादलाई। अब हामी हाम्रो अभिलाषा दिदीको एकदम मिठो पनि गीत सुन्ने थोरै टाइम दिनुपर्छ है। अभिलाषा आर यु हियर? हामी रुबिनाको शेयरिङ पछि हामी अभिलाषा गीत सुन्ने छौं।
I can
ready for this, okay then Abhilasha?
Sure.
Okay, Rubina.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't go to school as it is not safer. I study online classes, but there are so many problems when you're doing online classes. Sometimes you don't have internet, and sometimes you have mic or camera problem. Sometimes you can't see the teacher clearly and you can't interact with her. But like when you're in school, there are some positive and negative in school. You can go study there, interact with teachers, but you can't touch anywhere like in your surroundings because there might be corona, you don't know it. So you should use sanitizer, and like you can't share your tiffin, you can't talk to your friends because you will be 1 meter far, I guess. So yeah.
Thank you, Rubina, for your answer. Now, Prathana, can you please share your answer with us?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. How is your school going on? Are you attending your school physically or through online portal?
The situation of coronavirus is getting worse here, and many of our neighborhood uncles died too because of coronavirus. And so our school is not going on and we have online classes. Yeah, not going to school physically. It's all online.
Thank you all for your answer. I think we all have the common problems like sometimes electricity problem, internet connection problem as well. Reading through online is really problematic, but I'm enjoying it so far. Okay guys, we are coming to the end of this webinar. We get to share our experience, views and idea on this topic COVID-19. I'm very glad that we all get to know each other. Yeah, Abhilasha, can you please sing the song?
Wait. Excuse me. Yes, I would like to ask some question that is troubling my mind to Yasmin auntie and Bimal auntie. So I would like to say it in Nepali. हाम्रो नेपालमा मैले म र बाबाको फेसबुकबाट हेरेको कि नेपालको सामाजिक अभियन्ताज्यूहरूले नि भन्नुभएको छ कि कोरोना भाइरस केही हैन, त्यो चाहिँ सामान्य रोग जस्तै, इट्स लाइक फ्लू भन्नुभएको छ। त्यो साच्चै नै हो त? किनभने हाम्रो फ्यामिलीलाई पनि कोरोना भाइरस लागेछ, मेरो बहिनी, मम्मु र बाबालाई। हामी हस्पिटल पनि पुगेर आएको, त्यही भएर मलाई त्यसमा चाहिँ डाउट छ के त्यो साच्चैको हो कि हैन भन्नेमा। त्यो न्यूज फैलाछ नि त, त्यही भएर
त्यस्तो त्यो सामान्य रूपमा चाहिँ लिन हुँदैन रुबिना, हैन। कोरोना भाइरस डेफिनेटली नट अ सिम्पल थिङ। यदि सिम्पल थिङ हुन्थ्यो भने WHO ले पेन्डेमिक डिक्लेयर गर्ने थिएन, हैन। इट्स अ सिरियस म्याटर। तर के हुन्छ भने डिफ्रेन्ट मान्छेहरूको चाहिँ कोपिङ स्ट्राटेजिजहरू, कोपिङ क्यापासिटीहरू डिफ्रेन्ट हुन्छ कि। जस्तै तिमीलाई लाग्यो भने तिमीले चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट तरिकाले तिम्रो बडीले रियाक्ट गर्छ, मलाई लाग्यो भने मेरो बडीले डिफ्रेन्ट तरिकाले रियाक्ट गर्छ। कसैलाई चाहिँ एकदमै सिभियर बनाइदिन्छ, कसैलाई चाहिँ खासै केही फरक पनि पर्दैन। सो इट्स अलवेज बेटर टु गो टु द डक्टर। जहिले पनि डक्टरकोमा जानु, डक्टरको सुझाव सल्लाहहरूलाई चाहिँ के भन्छ विचार गर्नु, लाइक फलो गर्नु कि हैन। उहाँहरूले भनेको कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ जस्ट follow their instructions. I just want to say. अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ उहाँहरू सामाजिक अभियन्ताहरूले भनेर अब डिजिजको बारेमा सामाजिक अभियन्ताले भनेर पनि केही हुँदैन, डक्टर्सहरूले भन्नुपर्छ, बिकज दे आर द पायोनियर अफ अल दिस थिङ्स. उनीहरूलाई थाहा हुन्छ, डक्टरहरूलाई थाहा हुन्छ कि होइन. And this question अघि डाक्टर सञ्जीव यही भएको बेलामा सोध्न पाएको भए अझ राम्रो हुन्थ्यो. उहाँलाई त अझ उहाँको स्पेशलाइजेसन नै यसैमा हो है. He's here. Can you please answer Rubina's question? She was.
I was I was jumping from one Zoom room to other, but yeah, I've been hearing. Thank you very much. Yeah, what Bimala auntie said is really true. Don't take this infection lightly. यस्तो बेलामा धेरैवटा इन्फर्मेसन आउँछ होला है, इन्फर्मेसनको ब्लास्ट हुन्छ न्युजमा, टिभीमा, रेडियोमा, अनि न्युज मिडियाहरूले अलिकति एक्सट्रिम कुराहरू पनि लेखिरहेको हुन्छ होइन, किनभने न्युज सबैलाई पढोस् भन्नको लागि अब धेरैजना मरेको अनि धेरैजना इन्ज्योर भएको लेख्यो भने मान्छेहरू इन्ट्रेस्टबाट पढ्छ. अब निको भएकोहरूलाई त्यस्तो पनि धेरै नहुनाले मिडियाहरूको हेर्दा पनि जस्ट फिल्टर. ओके, अलवेज गो टु द रिलायबल सोर्स, meaning like there are so many information coming from social media and TV news and I mean like you name it, right? But if you are in doubt whether this news is okay, I doubt this whether it is true or not. Vaccine ayo, wow, okay, so somewhere you read vaccine ayo, you verify that with the government. Can verify garne? Go to government website wherever you are in China ma, Nigeria ma, South Africa ma, Australia ma. Go to your government website and then see whether this is true or not, right? Middle East ma, Qatar ma, Saudi Arabia, USA. There are media around. So always, if you are in doubt and anxious whether true or not, एकदमै खुसीको कुरा न्युजमा पढ्यो, एकदम दुःखको कुरा पढ्यो भने होला हो कि होइन भने जहिले पनि गर्नु हैन, इन्फर्मेसन गर्छु. अब त्यस्तै बेलामा कसैले यसलाई लाइटली लिनु भन्ने पनि आइरहेको हुन्छ, यसलाई सिरियस लिनु भन्ने पनि आइरहेको हुन्छ. तर सी यो लागेपछि के हुन्छ, हाम्रो लङ्समा पहिला सुरु रेस्पिरेटरी ट्र्याकमा जान्छ, नाकमा जान्छ, रुगा लाग्ने, ज्वरो आउने, सास फेर्न गाह्रो हुने. त्यो भने के भने हाम्रो बडीलाई बर्डन भयो, राइट? भाइरस एन्टर्ड आवर बडी, सो बडी इज फाइटिङ ब्याक. आई वन्ट लाइक फिभर आउनु भनेको बडी इज फाइटिङ टु गेट रिड अफ द भाइरस. सास फेर्न गाह्रो हुनु भनेको the lungs is affected because we are all breathing. We don't know, I mean, you don't hear breathing, right? Now, we breathe for, normal people breathe for 16 to 18 times a minute. Just like asthma, they breathe faster, 25. They breathe 30 times or more, right? In a minute. So that means when you are breathing fast, your lungs has to work more. Why? The virus is attacking the lungs. So the foreign substance has gotten inside you, fever, the running nose, and then you're having sneezes and coughing. Coughing, something is trying to get in your lungs, and then body is trying to get rid. It's a defense mechanism, meaning that the body is trying to get rid of it. The body is trying to get it. So you're coughing, meaning, hey, don't enter my lungs. I mean, get out. Sneeze, get out. That is what the body is doing, right? So all these are reactions the body is trying to show. That means body is not liking the virus. So you want to get rid of fever, blah. So people are saying, oh, no, light, I mean, if you're infected, you shouldn't be like anxious and then, panic, you get treated. But if you're not infected, you should not say, okay, I mean, even if I'm infected, it's going to be okay. Why not? Okay, you're seriously, ekdam seriously linu parcha. Afulai lagne bittikai your body is affected. You impact your family, timro sibling lai, dajubai didi bani lai, gharma amma bua lai. Especially if you have elders in your family, like grandparents hununcha bhane, they are more vulnerable, right? Your dad may have some condition or disease, or mom may have some condition because of their age, more the number of diseases they have, like people have diabetes, hypertension, right? So the virus attacks those people more severely than the younger people, right? So So don't take it lightly. Always, always avoid infection. And if you really want, you can avoid infection. I mean, you've been sick and tired of hearing max, 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 wash hand, wash hand, wash hand, and social distance. I mean, you hear it always, but still people are getting infected. Why? Because they're not following that even simple thing, or they are following but not following properly. For example, if I go out and then I forgot my marks, then I'm at a risk, right? I mean, sometimes, okay, max has, like, how does max helps by not letting your body's droplets go out and not letting anybody's droplets come in contact, right? And it also helps you not to touch your face. Max like त्यसले गर्दा हात धुँदा के हुन्छ, साबुन पानीले हात धुने, soap kills viruses. So and then you have to do it like adequately. I mean, you've been hearing sabunle panile hoina. You have to wash it thoroughly on inside, outside of the house, all the corners of the hands, and then wash it for 20 seconds, like rinse garnu. Kina? Because the soap has to be there sometime to kill the virus. यसो गरेर 5 सेकेन्डमा हात धुएर पखाल्यो भने भाइरस जान सक्दैन. So follow all the, so still people are getting infected is because they are not either following properly or they are not doing it at all. So take it seriously, don't get infected. But if you are I mean, somehow people get infected, don't panic. People get well very soon if you take treatment very soon. Okay, I'll stop there.
Yes, thank you.
Thank Dr. Sanjeev, thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
Rubina, thank you so much, Rubina, for your question. Right question for right people.
Thank you.
Right solution हाम्रो डाइरेक्ट डक्टरबाट आइसकेको छ. मलाई लाग्छ रुबिनाको यो क्वेसनले हाम्रो स्क्रिनमा पार्टिसिपेन्ट भाइ बहिनीलाई मात्र नभइकन वर्ल्ड वाइड हामीलाई हेरिराख्नु हुने सम्पूर्ण हाम्रो अडियन्सलाई पनि यसले प्लस पोइन्ट दिएको छ. एकदम राम्रो क्वेसनको लागि थ्याङ्क यू सो मच रुबिना. आज हामीले सोचे भन्दा राम्रो प्रोग्राम हामीले गरिराखेको छौँ जस्तो लाग्छ र मलाई लाग्छ अब हामी फ्रेस पनि हुन जरुरी छ. डाक्टर साहब, मैले हाम्रो विनर स्पिच कन्टेस्टको विनर अभिलाषा धेरै राम्रो गीत ल उहाँलाई उहाँको गीत सुन्नुपर्छ हामी अब थोरै.
Okay, great.
मेरो चाहिँ एकदमै sore छ, but I can try. I mean, I haven't really thought of any songs, but the one at the top of my head would be You Are the Reason by Callum Scott. So here I go. There goes my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. And there goes my mind racing, and you are the reason that I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you, sorry, to see that you are the reason. And there goes my hand shaking, and you are the reason my heart keeps bleeding. I need you now. If I could turn back the clock, I'll make sure the light defeated the dark. I spend every hour of every day keeping you safe. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Yeah, that's about all I know for now. Thank you.
Very nice, great.
Very good. Thank you.
Nice, very nice.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev, Yasmin Didi, Jia, Kunjal, Nikhil, Suhim, Nishant, Samira, Prarthana, Jasmine, Avilasha, Tapasya, Bikram, Rubina. Everyone, thank you so much. And I would like to thank our IT personnel as well. for supporting us like continuously. And I'm really glad that the program turned out to be really good. You guys shared your experience. I got to know so many things from you guys. Yes, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.